What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Yes, we're back, and what a big transfer, what a big breaking story. We're not late because of KG. I can already see in the comments, every time it's like 2 or 3 minutes late, immediately it's KG's fault. Guys, it's KG's fault. It's KG's fault. I'm not going to blame KG this time. It's very easy to, and I do a lot, but it's not his fault this time. But we are live, we're ready, and we're going to talk about Dan James because Dan James is exiting Manchester United. Yes. You know what? I want to stay surprising. We'll get into the details of it all in a second or so, but I want to stay surprising, but I don't think it is. I think the last couple of days we've seen the reports and the rumours that Dan James was probably going to head out the door when it came to Manchester United, especially with the imminent arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo, which we are going to be talking about later on as well. So the only surprising element of this is that he played yesterday. He started. That was the surprising thing. I mentioned this in the match reaction yesterday, if you caught it, was that he's starting, and there was rumours that he was going to be leaving, or there was wide reports that he was going to be leaving. So I found that really, really odd. Anyway, whatever it is, guys, happy to be here tonight. It's a Monday evening show. It's a bank holiday show, actually, isn't it? It's a bank holiday Monday. So I hope you've all enjoyed your bank holiday weekend. Smash a like on the video. As Flex likes to say, come into the house, take your shoes off, relax, enjoy yourself. You're with friends here. So smash a like on the video. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Let's take a look at the live chat before we get into the details of it all. Fernando says, greetings from Brazil. Greetings, Fernando. Hope you're having a great day. Neil says, evening, everyone. Evening, Neil. Kristen says that kit gives me Hensei vibes. You know what it is? I don't know if you guys have noticed over the last couple of streams, is that I found a ton of like old Manchester United retro shirts that we had laying about the house. So I've just decided to start wearing them. I mean, honestly, I can go for days. And considering this was a Cristiano Ronaldo kit. This was a Cristiano Ronaldo kit right after the World Cup drama 2006. So that's why we're wearing this one tonight. We're feeling a little bit, nostalgic. That's what we're going for. But yes, Dan James has exited Manchester United, whilst it hasn't been officially announced yet. Fabrizio Romano, who of course we know is the transfer guru when it comes to everything transfers, not just Manchester United of course, and he's been covering this all day. It was actually Romano who first broke this story with an exclusive earlier on today, and he has just confirmed it in the last couple of minutes or so. He said, quote, Dan James to Leeds for Manchester United, done deal, now confirmed, and here we go. The agreement has been completed for 28 million euros with add-ons. Personal terms agreed a few minutes ago. Medical tomorrow morning. Official announcement soon. And it's very interesting, this, because I think this is going to have some ramifications on Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, you're going to say, what on earth has Dan James and Cristiano Ronaldo got to do with each other? I will tell you. I will tell you what my theory is. Super chat from Len says, we only sell James so Cavani can get number 1 and Ronaldo 7. You've blown my theory, Len. You've blown my theory. That was my theory. Is that doable? That was going to be my big finale in a minute. It was going to make me seem really smart and happy with myself. But that's what I'm going with as well. That is what I'm going with as well. So yes, Dan James to Leeds United from Manchester United, 28 million euros with add-ons. When this was kind of broken or announced a couple of minutes or so ago, there was lots of numbers that were flying around. There was 20 million, 25 million, 30 million. Some people were saying that's in pounds, not euros. The general consensus that we can kind of see is 25 million pounds plus add-ons. So we're falling into a range of between 20 and 30 million, which, to be honest, we criticize Manchester United a lot when it comes to not just in terms of doing transfers coming into the club's incomings, but also transfers in terms of outgoing. We're terrible at getting players outside the club, and especially when we do sell players, 9 times out of 10 it's for hardly any money. It's on a free. We basically push them out and go, please leave. We're sorry we gave you this big contract. I'm so sorry. Please leave. And they're like, no, I like it here. I like being at one of the best clubs in the world and paid all of this money. So it's actually quite refreshing, to be honest with you, to see Manchester United, one, get a return on investment. Remember, we bought Dan James for what? Was it between 12 and 18 million pounds back in 2019? That's a return on investment plus more. I think, to be honest, getting nearly 30 million. I mean, we're talking maybe 25 million pounds, but again, plus add-ons, getting near 30 million for Dan James. Good business. Really good business by Manchester United. Really good business. In terms of the transfer fees, you could argue that this transfer fee is already paid for Ronaldo. But to be honest with you, Ronaldo pays for himself. I know I've seen some people say that, oh, look at this money. It already pays for Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo, my friends, pays for himself. Look at the stock price. Look at the merchandise. Look at social media metrics. He's the most followed guy on Instagram. out of anyone. All those kind of things pay for himself. So Dan James, what I see this as now, Dan James leaving, I say, right, that's 25 million. How much money have we got left? Defensive midfielder? Yes, please. Let's start making some phone calls. Let's start looking around for a Camavinga. Sonaguez, I don't even know if he's a defensive midfielder, to be honest with you, and that one looks unlikely to happen. But I look at that transfer fee and I say, you know what? We can do something with that. We can do something with that. That shouldn't just be we've got Cristiano Ronaldo. We spent a lot of money. He's the highest paid player in Premier League history, which is all true. It shouldn't just be he's the highest paid player at the club. We need to sell players to try and balance those books. It should be, no, we're Manchester United. We've got money. Even though the Glazers rip money out of the club every single season, we do have money. We've got one of the biggest revenues in the league. So this money should look at that. And if we are in a case, like they've been saying, we have to sell to buy. That's the message we've been getting pre-Ronaldo. We have to sell to buy. We have to sell to buy. We have to sell to buy. We've just sold. So let's start buying again, please. Now, when it comes to Dan James, I do want to say some things about him because, I've seen a lot of people saying that, oh, it's good that he's going. It's good that he's gone. Dan James, he was a fraud, or he wasn't at the level, or 28 million's a steal for Manchester United, all that kind of stuff. Look, I mentioned it in the match reaction yesterday. We know Dan James's level, and I think that became increasingly apparent. I think it's quite obvious as well. The manager liked the player. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer liked Dan James. He played him a lot. He played him yesterday. Which is, again, considering that he's left a day later, surprising. Nevertheless, he played him yesterday. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer liked Dan James. And I don't think I ever watched Dan James and thought to myself, you know what, this guy isn't trying. And I know that trying should be the minimum, especially at any football club, let alone Manchester United. But you never looked at him and said, I don't think he's trying, or I don't think he's committed. He showed an element of commitment and determination. Ultimately, Dan James's history at Manchester United will be remembered that he just wasn't up to the level. He just wasn't that kind of level of quality. He found his level. He found his ceiling. This is a guy that's incredibly quick. He can run with the ball. He can dribble with the ball. He's one of the faster players in the league. But his end product just isn't there. It just isn't there. And I think when it comes to his legacy, what he'll be remembered for at Manchester United is that, he just wasn't up to the level to cut it. Now, I already know, because you can already see it, can't you? Those people that are the anti-Manchester United agenda in the media will be ripping Manchester United in a year's time. Because if he goes to Leeds and he starts playing well, which he might, because he's going to be playing every week, he's going to be playing under, for me, one of the best coaches in the league, and Marcelo Bielsa. He's an unbelievable coach. Maybe he will thrive at Leeds, and maybe Manchester United will look foolish. But it's the same as like the Romelu Lukaku situation, right? Romelu Lukaku in his last year at Manchester United just wasn't up to snuff. He just wasn't. He was overweight. His touch was horrendous. And it wasn't a right fit. He leaves. He goes to Inter Milan. He does great. And people go, see, Manchester United in the mud. Manchester United in the mud. You're terrible. You're terrible. You're terrible. And Manchester United fans that watched Romelu Lukaku play for the last 12 months that he was there will say, that wasn't him when he was at Manchester United. It wasn't the right fit. And it will be the same with Dan James. If Dan James goes to Leeds United and is this ginormous success, people can say, see, Manchester United, see, terrible, terrible. But at the time, as of right now, he just isn't up to the level of the quality that we've got in our squad, or the quality where we want to be aiming towards. And Cristiano Ronaldo coming in is just that dun, final nail in the coffin for Dan James. That's it. But as a Manchester United fan, I appreciate his efforts and I appreciate what he's attempted to try and do for the club. But let's be honest here, he just wasn't up to the level. That was it. He just wasn't up to the level. So what else? What are we all saying? How do we all feel about this transfer? It definitely feels like, again, some big. Again, I think good money. I'm just seeing online because I'm seeing that that you're all saying. Look on Twitter. There's a report now coming from. Where's it coming from? It says Footy Insider. I don't know how legitimate that is, but we're seeing that here. It says Dan James. The move for Dan James to Leeds United is going to be hijacked by Everton. Yes, it says Everton are hijacking Leeds United's deal for Dan James. This is what happens when you go live, guys. This is what happens when you go live. Oh, my goodness. So is that the only outlet that's saying that? The only outlet that's saying that it's only that Footy Insider one. Yeah, Footy Insider are saying that Everton are hijacking Dan James's move to Leeds United. But we're also seeing other names, such as Jonathan Schrager, saying that He's just tweeted in the last minute or so, I'm told that Dan James to Leeds is not quite done yet, but is likely. A lot of people, and I'm not going to be one of those people that says, oh, Fabrizio Romano said it, so it must be true. But Fabrizio Romano said, here we go, and he feels relatively confident that that's going to be the case. So I think that the Leeds one is likely to happen. Again, if we see anything, if anything breaks, let me know, like you just did then in the live chat, and we'll look at it, we'll investigate it. But I think Dan James to Leeds United is the likely destination. Fabrizio Romano is saying it. Jonathan Schrager, lots of other people are saying that's going to be the case. It's, to be honest, it's very late if they're looking to hijack the deal. I guess that's what it would be when it comes to a hijack. But I mean, everyone else is saying that it's going to be Dan James to Leeds. So I don't know if we get a Romano or we get someone else saying that Everton are looking to hijack the deal, then maybe that'll be the case. Chase says hello from Canada. Hi Chase, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day. Kalo 2000 HD Gamer says 35 million and he's yours. Everton, well, that would be the case. I mean, I would assume, right? If Man United get a deal that's like 40 million, 35 million or more than Leeds are paying, we know what the Glazers like in terms of finances, but they're getting in the game pretty late on if Everton are going to do anything about it. So it looks more than likely that it's actually a case of it's already done with Leeds. Salted Caramel says, I wonder how Ricky's feeling now. Maybe Ollie played James to improve his selling price and any possibility of buying Basuma. Well, we haven't heard anything about Basuma. I'm with you. Basuma, for me, in terms of that defensive midfield option that we're looking for, Basuma would be the one. As we get close, I mean, what 24 hours away from the window shutting, I don't see it happening. When it comes to how Ricky's feeling, look, Ricky's, he's historically a Dan James advocate. And it's not a case of he's not a good player, Dan James. I don't think anyone is disputing Dan James's ability. It's just a case of it just wasn't up to snuff for Manchester United. He just wasn't at the level of a Manchester United. That's it. Those are the cold, hard facts. They had it yesterday. I mean, he came off, 52 minutes? For Cavani, I mean, again, I was shocked that he started. That's why I mentioned it in the match reaction. I said, because I saw those reports saying Manchester United are willing to offer out Dan James. And I was like, why is he starting them? And like you said, maybe it's a case of getting the asking price up. Maybe it's a case of that's just what we had at the day, but we didn't because he substituted him for Cavani. He could have started Martial on the left or I know Martial doesn't really start on the right, but they had options. They could have shifted Greenwood out to the right and start with Cavani. Maybe it's because he thought Cavani only had 50 minutes in him. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but I was surprised to see him start yesterday nevertheless. Super chat from Malik Dallas says, what? Manchester United selling players for profit? I'm Ollie out, but I have to give him and the club credit here. Now reinvest in Neves or Basuma. That's the thing, isn't it, Malik? I think a lot of people, myself included, will agree with you there that this is such a rarity. This is such a rarity. Where kind of everything in the last week or so has been so atypical for Manchester United. We see Cristiano Ronaldo. There's a real legitimate possibility he's going to go to our rivals, Manchester City, and it's a case of please act, Glazers and the board. You've got to act, do something, put your hand in your pocket, act fast and act substantially. And they did that, which everyone was like, whoa. They did a deal quickly. They put their hand in their pockets and it was done. Over 90 minutes. And now today, they're selling a player that just ultimately wasn't up to the level of Manchester United and they're selling him for profit. Well done. Well done. It's a golf clap. I'm not really going to give them a massive standing ovation, but a golf clap. They've done a par. That's what we're looking for. So close to £30 million, Dan James, considering we signed him for, again, between, was it 12, 18 million? I'm very happy with that. And again, I'm not one of those people that's going to slag off Dan James. You're rubbish. It's just... You just wasn't up to the level. No end product. That was the issue there. That's just it. Press HD says, what a top, stunning. I do like this top. A lot. Funny enough, if I could turn around and show you properly, it's even got Solskjaer on the back. Yeah. That much of a football nerd you're dealing with here tonight, guys. So smash a like on the video for this top. I was hoping that people would be appreciative of this top. So I'm glad to see the appreciation and love for this shirt. Smash a like on the video for that. Reportedly, this comes from Rob Dawson, ESPN, when it comes to Dan James. Reportedly, Dan James was concerned about his prospects at Manchester United following the arrivals of Jadon Sancho and Cristiano Ronaldo this summer. Can you blame him? Can you blame him? I know everyone talks about, believing in yourself and believing in your own ability, but let's face it here, he knows his level. In the same way that obviously the coaching staff, I guess, knew his level. Certainly the fans knew Dan James's level. When you see players like Jadon Sancho come in, who's going to be playing on that right-hand side, and you see certainly Cristiano Ronaldo come in, you go, well, that's me done. You might as well start packing up his bags. You can imagine, can't you, of Ollie coming in, announcing to everyone, we signed Cristiano Ronaldo. He just stood up, Dan James, got his suitcase and just started putting his clothes in. What are you doing? Well, I'm done, obviously, because I'm not going to play. Now, again, the shocking thing was that he played yesterday, but can you blame him for being concerned about his prospects? And we talk about Jesse Lingard, and we will talk about Lingard because we have some more news on him and him basically staying at Manchester United. You have to give credit, I suppose, to Dan James in the sense that Jesse Lingard, it's obvious West Ham wants him. West Ham wants him. West Ham know the price. Manchester United have quoted the price to him. Something like 30, 35 million. They know that price. And it's a case of, I think, West Ham realising that maybe Lingard doesn't actually want to move. We see all of these reports now. Jesse Lingard wants to fight for his place. Jesse Lingard's priority is Manchester United. He wants to fight for his place at Manchester United. Credit to Dan James, I suppose, who goes, right, I'm done. I want to play. I'm not content for sitting on the bench. I'm not content. I'm young. I've still got my career ahead of me. I play a lot for my country anyway. But guess what? I want to play, and I'm not going to. Sancho's here. Ronaldo's here. I'm done. I'm done. And you can't blame him. You really can't blame him. David R3 says, if you watch the first 20 minutes of the Brighton-Everton match, you'll see what a class defensive midfielder looks like. Hashtag buy Basuma. A lot of people really feeling Basuma. I'm with you. Basuma's an unbelievable player. I don't know if anyone will snap him up now. It might be too late, to be honest with you. But he would be one, absolutely, that would fit into this Manchester United team. As far as a defensive midfielder, we just haven't seen anything. I mean, I would love to give you guys news about a defensive midfielder of, right, we've sold Dan James and now we're going to go in for a defensive midfielder. Things can and will change between now and tomorrow. Deadline day is deadline day for a reason. Obviously, it's when the window shuts, but it's just chaotic. It's absolutely chaotic. So who's to say Manchester United won't be doing business between now and tomorrow? I think that United might be saving Ronaldo's announcement for deadline day tomorrow in terms of it's the greatest deadline day signing ever when it wasn't a deadline day deal, but they might announce it on deadline day. I think that might be a situation there. Now, speaking of Dan James as well, it was mentioned in a super chat earlier, this may pave the way for Cristiano Ronaldo to wear the number 7 shirt. How, you may ask? Wow, reportedly, according to Tanguy Le Silvier, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I actually did. I did French. It's a French journalist, I think. I did French at GCSE, and I actually did well, but just terrible. Terrible pronunciation, terrible all that kind of stuff. Anyway, he's reporting that Edison Cavani will take Dan James's number 21 shirt, and Cristiano Ronaldo will take the number 7 shirt. So, like the super chat said earlier on, maybe, I don't think this is the case of Manchester United going, we're going to sell Dan James. We're going to sell Dan James so we can get Cristiano Ronaldo the number 7. If that would be the case, that would be incredible. It's not the case. I think it was a case of Dan James and the club realising we're not going to play Dan James anymore. We've got so many options now with the likes of Sancho and Ronaldo coming in this summer. His options were limited anyway, and on top of that, he's just not at the level. He's just not at the level anymore. We've leveled up, and he's just not at that level anymore. We gave him a couple of seasons to try, and look, if we hadn't brought in the players this season, obviously he would have stayed, but at this point, the level's too high. Now, you might be asking, how can Ronaldo have the number 7 shirt? The shirt's already been registered to Edison Cavani. He played yesterday. As far as I'm aware, you can get special dispensation. You can get there is some way around it, which Manchester United will try and find a way around it. How they will do that, I don't know. I'm not a stickler for the Premier League registration number rules, but reportedly, Edison Cavani is happy to take Dan James's number 21 shirt, and Cristiano Ronaldo will take the number 7 shirt. I think, I might be wrong, does Cavani wear number 21 for Uruguay? I think I've seen some pictures, yeah. Ali99 says, yeah, Cavani is his national number. I've seen that too. I've seen that Cavani's number is 21 for his country. So that would make sense. Cavani goes to 21, Ronaldo goes to 7, CR7 returns to Manchester United, which, to be honest, I mean, Ronaldo coming back to Manchester United anyway just feels right Just feels right, doesn't it? Whereas, Ronaldo coming back to Manchester United with the number 7, CR7 returning to his club, wearing his shirt, everything just feels right. It gives you a tingly feeling inside, doesn't it? So that could be the situation there. I think that might be the situation of Ronaldo coming back to number 7, which is why I mentioned that I don't think we will see a Ronaldo announcement today. I know that a lot of people have been talking about announcement because an announcement's going to come today or tomorrow, hasn't it? And it is going to happen. But I don't think it's going to come today because of this Dan James transfer. This is what I was saying about how crazily Dan James's transfer actually does affect Cristiano Ronaldo, because if they want Ronaldo to have the number 7 shirt and Cavani to move over to 21, they have to actually have Dan James officially leave the club first. They have to then wait for Dan James's move to be official to Leeds. I know people are saying Everton, but I think it's most likely to be Leeds. So basically, they have to wait until Dan James' move is officially confirmed. He's officially out the door. Then Manchester United can do the official Ronaldo announcement of CR7 has returned home. So you see how these things kind of work. They kind of hinge on each other, don't they? I think that's kind of what we're looking at here. We're waiting for Dan James to officially leave the club. Once Dan James is done, which I think is probably, an announcement could happen tonight. I mean, Romano was saying earlier that an announcement would be made shortly. So an announcement from Leeds or Manchester United will probably happen tonight, I would think. And then tomorrow we'll be looking at a situation where, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo is announced. We'll have the big video. What that video will look like, I mean, you can let me know in the live chat. What would you look if you were the director of this Ronaldo announcement video? What would you have that look like? I think Sir Alex has got to be involved, hasn't he? He's got to be involved somehow. I said on Twitter at Mr. Owen MUFC, by the way. I think I'm nearly 1,600 followers. So I'm a baby. I'm a baby on there. But if you want to give me a follow, you can absolutely do that. You can follow United View on Twitter as well at United View TV. I said on Twitter that in this Ronaldo announcement video, it's Sir Alex. You've got to have Sir Alex in there, haven't you? How they would do that, I like the idea of Ronaldo walking through the tunnel at Old Trafford. You see the view. Picture this. You see him walking through the tunnel. The camera's behind him, so you can just see the silhouettes as he walks out onto the pitch. Who greets him there? Sir Alex Ferguson. And he just says a few words to him. Welcome home, son. Oh, you can feel it. You can absolutely feel it, couldn't you? You could absolutely feel that. Oh, it would be amazing. So I think it's just a matter of time for the Dan James move to get confirmed. Then we'll have the Ronaldo announcement tomorrow. I think that's probably going to be the situation there. Ruth says Sir Alex and him together. Yep, I'm thinking that. I'm hoping that as well. Calder says Sir Alex in the stadium and CR walks in through the tunnel. Exactly. Great minds think alike. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yes, exactly what I was thinking. So there is some other things to talk about as well. I do want to talk about Jesse Lingard, because I know a lot of people are talking about Jesse Lingard and Lingard. Is he going to move? Is he not going to move? Of course, Lingard has been linked with West Ham United all summer. Of course, he was on loan there last season from January to the end of the season. Very successful during his time there. Very, very successful. And a lot of people assumed that he would be going back. Well, of course, he hasn't. He's remained with Manchester United. But there have been rumours and reports still linking him to West Ham. There was a rumour or a report yesterday talking about Jesse Lingard having a meeting with David Moyes. It was very cloak and dagger, wasn't it? Very cloak and dagger of he had a meeting with David Moyes, but the content of the meeting is unknown. And we're talking kind of riddles. I was like, what? What? And I was kind of thinking, can they even do that? Can David Moyes have just a meeting with Jesse Lingard without the permission of Manchester United? I don't know if he can. I mean, there's nothing to stop him. Jesse Lingard, I guess, can do what he wants, but it's a very fine line to walk, right? A very fine line to walk. So I don't know. I don't know how that deal would work. Nevertheless, there have been rumours and reports still linking Lingard to West Ham United with a move back to West Ham. Reported fees, I mean, apparently Manchester United wants something like, I think it's 35 million. West Ham not willing to meet that asking price, which for me seems a bit strange, but I know there's a lot of ownership stuff going on at the moment, isn't there, when it comes to West Ham about whether or not the owner's going to stay there. Wasn't there a consortium with Rio Ferdinand and his brother, Anton Ferdinand, when they were going to be involved with the whole ownership deal? So I don't know what's going on with that. Either way, they're not willing to meet that price for Lingard. So it looks like Jesse Lingard is going to stay. Sky Sports reported earlier today, quote, Manchester United are happy for Jesse Lingard to stay and fight for his place this season. This is the really key line here, I think. Lingard's priority this summer has been to remain at United. So we kind of know the situation now. And Ollie's been quite transparent about it when he's been talking about it in his press conferences. It's funny because I was doing the notes for the press conference last Friday. I was going to go live when it comes to the press conference. I was going to do the presser and the match preview for Wolves. And then obviously the big Ronaldo story blew up and that's what we went with. But I was doing the notes for that. And when he always gets asked about Lingard in these press conferences, all the time he gets asked about Jesse Lingard. Because of course there have been these rumours. There have been these links linking him to go back to West Ham United. And especially when you consider the options that we have right now. When you talk about Ronaldo, Cavani, Greenwood, Martial, Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, Bruno Fernandes, Pogba can play out left on the out wide left as well. You think about all of these options Manchester United have. Ahmad's staying as well, which we'll touch on later as well. It's an embarrassment of riches in those positions, and you think, where does Jesse Lingard fit into that? And the answer is he doesn't. When you look at how does he fit in to all of that kind of situation right now, when you name those players, when you go through all of those players that I just counted on my hand, you don't say Jesse Lingard. The reason you don't say him is because he's that low on the pecking order. And that's someone that had a great year last year, a great second half of the season at West Ham, and everyone was very happy. Everyone was very happy with what Jesse Lingard was doing at West Ham last year. But I think every Man United fan said, I'm happy he's playing well. I'm happy he's playing because he wants to play. And he just wouldn't get into the side of Manchester United. That's just how it is at the moment. And now he's come back. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed on that front. If anything, the competition's got way, way stiffer. Way, way bigger. Because you've had Sancho come in. You've had Ronaldo come in. So he's even less likely to play now. So what does he want to do? He wants to stay. I appreciate Jesse Lingard's desire and fight and want to fight for his place, want to fight for his position. But let's be honest here. He really ain't playing. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said in his press conference on Friday, which kind of floored me when he said, well, Lingard, he would have started the first game of the season if he didn't have COVID. And you go, I mean, I'm glad I'm sitting down. You kind of go like that. What, really? Really? In reality, I suppose, it's because we still had a lot of people still coming back from international break. Jadon Sancho's had only done a week of training. Lingard had pretty much a full preseason. All that kind of stuff makes a lot of sense. But nevertheless, Lingard, he's just not going to play. And Solskjaer said, we need the squad for cup competitions this season, which is true. You absolutely need options. If you're going to win trophies, if you're going to win cups and you're going to challenge for every single trophy, you need a squad. But I look at our strongest 11 and I look at our second strongest 11 and Lingard doesn't even fit into either. That's how many options we have up front. That's just the situation. So I just can't see a scenario where Lingard's going to play that much this season. Nevertheless, he said that his priority is to remain at Manchester United this summer and he's going to stay. I can see we've got over 1,000 people watching so far, which is amazing, guys. So be sure to smash a like on the video. Subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I don't even know how many subscribers we're at. We're nearly heading to 69,000. 69,000 on this channel. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, smash a like on the video, and let me know what you think when it comes to Jesse Lingard wanting to stay at Manchester United in the live chat, because I know a lot of people have got opinions when it comes to Jesse Lingard, myself included, that I just don't think he's going to play. But when it comes to Lingard, by all accounts, again, according to Sky, Lingard's priority this summer has been to remain at United. That's all he's wanted to do, is remain at United, which is surprising, because I think a lot of people, once they heard this news today, Lingard wants to stay and his priority is United and he wants to fight for his place, every single person I spoke to, which was a couple of people, every single person said, fight with who? Fight with who? Oh, yeah, you're going to fight with Jadon Sancho for your place, or you're going to fight with Bruno Fernandes, or Cristiano Ronaldo, or Edison Cavani, or your good mate Marcus. It's just not going to happen, Jesse. And look, I like Jesse Lingard. Lingard gets a lot of stick on social media. I think he's toned down some of the stuff that kind of turned people against him a few years ago with the really outrageous stuff on social media and all that kind of stuff. People like Jesse Lingard, and he's a local lad, and, well, not local, but you know what I mean, he come through the United Academy, and people can mention, which I think is maybe partially true, people talk about, homegrown quotas and having a select number of homegrown players in the squad, which does factor into things, absolutely. But I look at it and I just say, like, we see this in a lot of other clubs. We see that in a lot of other clubs, don't we, when it comes to players? I think of like Chelsea and people like Ruben Loftus-Cheek. When you go, look, there is a time for everyone. There is a window for everyone. And if you stay because you're like, damn it, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to fight and I'm going to stay and I'm going to fight for my place. And United, ultimately, again, will probably want to keep him because of the homegrown stuff. They'll say, okay, you can stay, but you're just not going to play because there are just better players ahead of you at this point. There are just better players ahead of you. And again, the circumstance hasn't changed in your favour between January and now. Since January and now, in January you had to go out on loan because you weren't going to play. Between then and now, we've brought better players in. So you're going to even less likely play. That's just going to be the situation. So I don't see a scenario. I really don't see a scenario whereby Lingard's going to have a ton of games this season unless we go down with just the plethora of injuries. All that kind of stuff, I just don't see it. I really don't see it. Super chat from Kobe. Appreciate the super chat, my friend. Says, now that 21 is available, give Cavani his Uruguay number 21 and then hand the number 7 to Cristiano. Yep, we were just saying that. I think that's probably going to be the situation. As far as getting special dispensation from the league, that looks like a case. I just hope, because I do know some people, and people can get angry about shirts and buying shirts, all that kind of stuff. Look, support the club however you want to support the club. You can support the club by just following anyone on social media. You can support the club by buying a season ticket. You can support the club by buying a shirt or whatever. People can talk about funding the Glazers, whatever. Support the club in your own way, because the same people that will criticize you for buying a shirt are still buying a ticket to watch the game or buying a subscription to Sky or doing whatever. It funds the Glazers' pockets somehow. And that's not a defeatist attitude, but if we're going to do it, we've got to properly do it anyway. Nevertheless, I know people that have bought shirts that have Cavani on the back number 7, and I hope they refund that, because that's the right thing to do, isn't it? That's the right thing to do. That would be pretty shitty, to be honest, if they didn't do that. DJ, yes, DJ's in the house. Yes, I spoke to DJ about the game yesterday. We had a nice little analysis session about the game yesterday. And be sure to follow him, by the way, on Twitter, at DJTalks_ on Twitter and Instagram, I think, as well. He says, with the super chat, we now expect a CDM. Who do you think it will be? The thing is, you say that we now expect a CDM. Do we? Do we? I will tell you a slight story here. I used to have a coach when I was younger playing football who was the most bizarre coach, because all he ever talked in was rhetorical questions. All he would say was, can we? One more? Shall we? How do we feel right now? And he'd be like, can you just say a normal sentence without saying a question? So whenever I ever hear anyone saying, can we? Will we? It always tickles me. Nevertheless, it's a massive tangent. As far as a CDM, I don't think we should expect one, which is kind of defeatist, I know, but I just don't know. If you ask me which one I would want a Basuma. I mean, I'd want Declan Rice, obviously. You know what I think? I think someone like Calvin Phillips. Now, people will say that's not going to happen. Manchester United to Leeds, how on earth is that going to happen? We just sold Dan James to Leeds, okay? There have been names that have gone back and forth throughout the years. Rio Ferdinand, Alan Smith. That's not, it's not Eric Cantona. Names have happened. Now, obviously, Calvin Phillips is a Leeds lad, so I don't know about that. But so was Alan Smith, I guess. That was a free transfer, I think. Oh, no, was it? It wasn't a free transfer, was it? It was like 7 million. Nevertheless, I think a player like that would be good. Again, a Basuma. Obviously, we know about Ruben Neves. I think technically Ruben Neves is probably superior to all of those. But Basuma, I really like Basuma. He can just grab a game that I don't think people in our team can. As far as would we do business now, we were surprised when it came to Ronaldo that we signed him in like 90 when it came to Ronaldo that we signed him in 90 minutes. Whether or not Manchester United could sign a defensive midfielder in 24 hours, I have my doubts. But we have seen that deals aren't impossible to do in short periods of time. That's the frustrating thing for me about transfer deadline day. It's all these clubs then suddenly start rushing. Oh, we got to do a transfer. It's like, you've had months. And you didn't do it. So frustrating. So I don't know. I don't know if we will sign a defensive midfielder, I must say. Vumi with a super chat says, DJ and I can't believe he played for United. Yes. When it comes to Dan James, a lot of people, like I said, weren't necessarily the biggest fans of Dan James, and I think everyone knows we just didn't have the quality. He just wasn't up to that level. He's not a bad player. And he's not a player that doesn't try hard, all that kind of stuff. That should be the minimum for me for any professional footballer, but he just wasn't at the level. Going back to Jesse Lingard, because I do want to talk a little bit more about him. This came from Rob Dawson from ESPN. He said, quote, there remains interest in Jesse Lingard from West Ham, but with no concrete offer on the table, he looks set to stay. A number of clubs from the Premier League and abroad have also inquired about his situation. So, again, I find that fascinating. I find that absolutely fascinating when it comes to Lingard, because I look at it and I say, Well, there are certainly clubs that want you. We know West Ham want you, but there's a plethora of other clubs. It's not just West Ham. I think a lot of clubs would have sat up and took notice last summer, through the summer rather, and during the season, the second half of the season, and seen the form that Jesse Lingard was on. I mean, he was scoring however many games in a row, scoring goals for West Ham. And that got a lot of attention, not just in England, but abroad as well. So a lot of clubs were interested. And according to Rob Dawson, have inquired about the situation. It goes back to, doesn't it, that this looks like it kind of sits on Lingard, doesn't it? This sits on Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard, for whatever reason, whether he's got reassurances from the manager, which I don't know if he has, to be honest with you. I think this is you feel like this is kind of on him, that for whatever reason, he's decided, no, I want to stay. I want to fight for my place. Which, again, is kind of what we've been saying before here on the channel. The general feeling has been when it comes to Jesse Lingard is that he would only leave if he really wanted to. If he knocked on Solskjaer's door, said, "Ollie, you in? I'm off. I don't want to be here anymore because I want to play games." And in fairness to Ollie's never said that Lingard's going to be a starter. Ollie said that he might play a part in the squad, but Ollie also said Donny van de Beek might play a part in the squad, and we know how that one's going. So that's kind of the kiss of death, if anything, isn't it? If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said, "You've got a part to play," Donny van de Beek would be going, so have I. And guess what? I'm not playing either. Me and Jesse Lingard are best friends on the bench. So if at that point, you have to take initiative. And again, I almost credit Dan James. I credit Dan James for this earlier on because at least he realised, he went, you know what? Ronaldo's in, Sancho's in, I'm not going to play. And you know what? I like playing football. I don't want to sit on the bench. I'm not just content to be at Manchester United. I want my career to be successful and I want to play football. So I'm off. See you later. And maybe Lingard needs to do the same thing. And I know it's difficult because he came through Manchester United, and I know it's difficult because he's got ties in the area and he's friends with a lot of people at the club and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, as Roy Keane would say, it's your job. And if you're more than content to sit on the bench or not play at all, then that's on you. Then you can't complain. You can't complain that I'm not playing or anything like that. Not that I think Lingard has, but I think it then comes to a point of Manchester United from a financial point of view of going, whilst it's great we have a quota of homegrown players that we're matching, Lingard is on a relatively big contract, and this could be 30 million that we could do with. Because if we had, look, nearly 30 million for Dan James, 30 million for Lingard, that's 60 million. That's more than enough for a defensive midfielder. That's enough to put an offer in for a Basuma, for a Ruben Neves, for whoever. We've already talking to Leeds. Maybe it's enough for a Calvin Phillips, right? I think that's maybe the case. So that's interesting. Saragon says, who is Jesse's agent? Oh, I don't think it's Mino Raiola anymore, is it? At one point, was it going to be Mino Raiola? I don't know if it was. Nevertheless, Lingard looks like he's going to stay. Jeff the Red says, reassurances. We have Sancho, Rashford and Bruno, who will always be starters if they're on form, due to their ability being superior than Lingard. I think that's the issue. Some people are saying that Mino Raiola might be his agent. I can't remember because I do remember there was a change in it. I do definitely remember there was a change in his agent. I don't know if it was the case. Nevertheless, yeah, I've seen some people saying it's not Mino. He got rid of its agency. So I know Lingard did. I think he changed his agent, didn't he? I think that's the case. So an update on Cristiano Ronaldo. We are going to talk about Ronaldo again, even though I don't think we're going to get an announcement when it comes to Ronaldo tonight. Again, I think crazy. It's so Man United, isn't it? The Cristiano Ronaldo announcement hinges on Dan James, which is nuts to say. But look, let's face it here. That's peak Manchester United at the moment. The reason it hinges on Dan James leaving isn't the case of, if we can't offload Dan James, we're not going to get Cristiano Ronaldo. No, that's not happening. The reason it kind of depends on Dan James, as I mentioned earlier, is because I think of the announcement that they want to do, Manchester United, they want to have CR7 in their announcement video. They want to have Cristiano Ronaldo holding up his shirt saying Ronaldo number 7 on. They can't do that until Dan James goes. Once Dan James goes, Cavani moves to 21, Ronaldo moves to 7. Now, it's not a case of they sold Dan James because they wanted to give Cristiano Ronaldo the number 7. That's not the case. I think the plan was always to have Dan James be sold, especially once they got Cristiano Ronaldo through the door. And I think Dan James is more than happy to abide by that. But I think in terms of an announcement, we're not going to see it until Dan James has officially left. And I think that announcement will probably happen tonight. So when it comes to Ronaldo, probably tomorrow. And they'll play it up like the biggest deadline day signing ever. We've never seen a deadline day signing like this. Cristiano Ronaldo returns to Manchester United on deadline day. Oh, what a story. That was done ages ago. That was done Friday. It's like a lifetime ago in transfers. Kyle with a super chat says, Ronaldo is such a great signing. I agree with you, Kyle. I've seen those people that are writing Cristiano Ronaldo off, and I think it's ludicrous. I think it's absolutely ludicrous. You know the people who are writing Cristiano Ronaldo off? The people who are writing Cristiano Ronaldo off are people that don't like Manchester United. It's got absolutely nothing to do with Cristiano Ronaldo's ability or his age. All it's got to do with agendas against Manchester United. Whether it's Graham Souness, whether it's Paul Merson, whether it's whoever, they just don't like Manchester United. And I get it. He is 36, and I get it that he isn't the player that he once was. But if you think for a second Cristiano Ronaldo isn't going to score goals in the Premier League, then you're out of your mind. He scored 29 goals in Serie A last season in 33 games. And I mentioned before, this isn't any ham and egg league. This isn't a terrible league. It's one of the better leagues in the world with great defenders. And yes, he was in a strong team, but he was in a Juventus team that finished 4th. So he scores 29 goals in a team that wasn't even playing that well last season. So for people to write him off, I think is madness. You're happy to write off one of the greatest players of all time. I don't see them doing that to Lionel Messi at PSG. Granted, Messi's a little bit younger, but you don't see people go, he's rubbish. No, he passed it. He's not going to do anything at PSG. They're going, amazing. Lionel Messi's going to be great because he's in a Farmers League. Well, Ronaldo wasn't in a Farmers League last season, and he's certainly not in a Farmers League now. So write him off at your peril. He will just prove you wrong. I have no doubts about it. He will just prove you wrong. We're talking about one of the greatest players ever. He is a goal scorer at this point in his career, and he always will, and he always has and always will score goals. His standards are just legendary. So for people to write him off, I think is laughable. And you notice this. The people that have played with Ronaldo, the people that have shared a dressing room or shared a pitch with him, or they know him personally, none of those people are writing him off. And that's not just because they're ex-Manchester United players. That's not just because they're friends of him or anything like that. They don't write him off because they know the man. They know the guy. They know that you don't write Cristiano Ronaldo off. The reason you don't write Cristiano Ronaldo off is because he proves you wrong time and time and time again. You get people like Roy Keane and Gary Neville. They're all saying he'll be a success at Manchester United. Will he win us the league? Will he win us the Champions League? I don't know. Even that may be a stretch too far. But to say that he's not going to be a success or he's not going to score goals is laughable. It really absolutely is laughable. He always has. He always has scored goals, and he will continue to prove people wrong. It's just those are facts. Those are absolute facts. So I think it's funny that you get these people that are trying to write off Ronaldo because it's ludicrous, absolute ludicrous. So speaking of Ronaldo, Fabrizio Romano has said, quote, Cristiano Ronaldo has completed his medical as a Manchester United player in Portugal. Of course, he's training with Portugal right now, getting ready for international duty. He also said the contract has been signed, deal until June 2023. Visa process started. His salary could change depending on the many add-ons included in the contract. So his contract, he's already the highest paid player in Premier League history. That was widely reported, wasn't it, last week once that deal was done. So he's the highest paid player in Premier League history, obviously meaning he's the highest paid player at the club. Previously, the other highest paid player in Premier League history was Raphael Varane. I don't think people sort of recall how much money Raphael Varane's on. He's on a lot of money, but let's face it, I thought Varane played very well at the weekend. Initially, he looked a bit rusty, but man, doesn't he look calm and composed, and he just oozes like confidence and just reassurance of what can be in the past. A really agitated backline, and just such a not needed agitated backline. So Cristiano Ronaldo, again, that will probably be, I think, confirmed tomorrow. The Athletic reported earlier today that Cristiano Ronaldo's return to Manchester United will be made official in the coming hours. I found that kind of tweet a bit funny. The reason I said that was funny because, of course, it's going to be done in the coming hours because we're nearly at deadline day. So coming hours in terms of the next 48 hours, I guess they just couldn't say that. I guess they couldn't say Cristiano Ronaldo's transfer will be made official in the next 48 hours because, of course, it will. Because it has to be. So sometimes, when you see like tweets like that, you go, well, yes, obviously, that's going to be the case. Nevertheless, it's funny. We'll see what you're saying in the live chat. Be sure to smash a like on the video and subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We've got, how many people we got watching? We've got nearly 1,400 people watching, which is amazing, guys. So be sure to smash a like on the video and subscribe. Doing great things here on the channel. Got loads of content. I'm not going to spoil it, but I do know, because I spoke to Flex earlier on, we've got a ton of content coming between today and the end of transfer deadline day tomorrow. It's really, really exciting. So now is the time to subscribe. It really is, because deadline day is going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. Sabiash says, sign a defensive midfielder is trending on Twitter. Imran says, when Varane pinged that ball to Shaw and he has a great leap. Sia says, haters go to hell. Ronaldo is the best world class. Neil says, CR7 will score goals. Are you mad? So a lot of people saying that it's ridiculous. I agree. I agree. I think people that are writing Ronaldo off, it's just laughable. And you know where it comes from, don't you? I mean, I don't want to get too much negativity in these videos, because then I don't like to be that person that's like super negative when it comes to stuff. I always like to try and look at it from a positive outlook, or to be honest, just try and be objective and balanced and not rant and rave on kind of things. But I saw like what Graham Souness was saying after the game yesterday. Well, the thing is, I couldn't see it because I was doing the match reaction live, so I saw it on Twitter after the game, and I saw that Graham Souness was saying like, oh, it's a leg breaker. Graham Souness saying that something is a leg breaker is laughable. When the guy made a career, I'm not going to diminish what he did in his career, because the guy won titles and European Cups. I'm not going to be like him and just write a load of people off for no reason. But Graham Souness saying that was a leg breaker, are you kidding me? I mean, honestly, are you kidding me? Graham Souness made a career on leg-breaking tackles. He didn't break people's legs, stamped on people's legs. I know it was a different era, but for him to say that was a leg-breaking tackle, there was a challenge in the first half that was exactly the same as a 50-50 with Bruno and a Wolves player. And guess what? Nobody did anything about it because it wasn't a foul. It just happens that it involves Pogba. So, of course, Graham Souness, I hate it. I hate Manchester United. That's the real analysis there. That's the real punditry from Graham Souness. I don't like Man U. They go, yes, okay, what about the tackle? I don't like Man U. Yes, okay, what do you think of the scoreline? I just don't like Man U. That's might as well what he says, because he's basically saying that every time he does it. It's just, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, getting back to Ronaldo. See, I'm going from like 0 to 100 and then back down to 0 so quickly tonight. Jonathan Schrager said, this is funny about Rashford, not funny, but interesting. Says, aside from getting the chance to play alongside one of his football inspirations for Manchester United, Marcus Rashford is equally excited about the opportunity to train with Ronaldo on a daily basis to view his habits and learn from the way he prepares for the games, which I think is super important. I think it's super important that that's really what we've got to be looking at when it comes to the younger players. We mentioned about Mason Greenwood and Marcus Rashford and all of those younger players that are in that squad, and even the people that are not necessarily younger. We're talking about experienced professionals here, should look at Cristiano Ronaldo and say, look, that's how you prepare yourself. We've heard those stories about Ronaldo, haven't they? They're legendary. They're mythic. About people that used to go into Manchester United training, be there for 9 o'clock in the morning, and they would see Ronaldo and they'd be like, man, what time did this guy get here? And they were like, 6 a.m. He's been here 3 hours. He's already been in the gym for like an hour and a half, and now he's eating breakfast, and now he's doing stretching, and now he's doing this, and now he's already on the field doing free kick practice. And that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. And I hope that some of the younger pros, whether they are Rashford or Greenwood or whoever, look at Cristiano Ronaldo and say, that's got to be my level. That's got to be my standard. I've got to be that guy that dedicates everything, and everything is meticulous. It's preparation, it's dedication, it's everything to win, it's everything to improve and to be a better player and perform. And that's what Ronaldo brings to the dressing room. That's how important it is. It's not just the aura of having one of the greatest players of all time back at the club that made him famous. It's seeing what standards he sets, and it's seeing what he brings in terms of being a professional and what it takes to be a world-class player. That kind of intangible that he brings is invaluable. You can't put a price on that. You really can't. So I hope that people particularly like Greenwood and people like Rashford, I hope they see that, because we know like Marcus Rashford's, obviously his sort of presence that he already has and the stuff he's done off the pitch, which is unbelievable, all that kind of stuff. But you're never too old to learn. You're never too old to look at how someone else does things, accept and embrace new ideas. I remember Rio Ferdinand was saying before that he went round Cristiano Ronaldo's house once when he was there previously, and there were all these people there, and he was like, what are all of these people doing here? And it's like, this is my dietitian, this is the guy that cooks my food, this is my physio, this is my fitness coach, this is that. And he was like, man, this guy is investing in himself and making himself a better player. And this is before he became Cristiano Ronaldo. This is when he was trying to get to that point. And the reason he got to that point is because he invested in himself. He took the time to get better. That's why when it comes to the debate about Ronaldo or Messi, isn't it? Where some people lean into Messi because there's a natural talent. Maybe Messi just have more natural talent than Ronaldo. But on Ronaldo's side of things, just the dedication to get better and the professionalism and the drive, you can't beat it. Nobody works harder than Cristiano Ronaldo. Even at 36 years of age, nobody will work harder than Cristiano Ronaldo at that club. And that's the standard you have to set to be a world-class player and play at a world-class club like Manchester United. That's what it takes. That's what it absolutely takes. We have some information as well about Amad Diallo. Now, we spoke previously when I did, I think my last transfer update I did at the weekend. I spoke about Amad, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said at the press conference on Friday that Amad would be leaving on loan. He confirmed that Amad Diallo would be leaving on loan. Didn't name the club. He didn't name the club. He said that a deal had been agreed and Amad would be moving out on loan. Fabrizio Romano then said that there was quite a few clubs that were interested in Amad Diallo. It was just a case of Diallo basically finding out which club he wanted to move to. Subsequently, we found out that that move that he wanted to go to was Feyenoord. He was going to move to Holland and he was going to go to Feyenoord on loan. I would have preferred it to be a Premier League club. I mentioned that before. We heard the rumours about Crystal Palace being interested, and I thought that was a really good move for him, but ultimately decided to go to Feyenoord, which I thought also was a good move. We're talking about a big club in Holland. I think Robin van Persie's on the coaching staff there as well, if I'm not mistaken. If he is, that maybe is the connection between United and Feyenoord. So I think that would have been an okay move for him. Anyway, that loan isn't happening. That loan now is off because Amad Diallo has sustained an injury. Manchester United released the following statement. They said, quote, Manchester United can confirm that Amad has sustained a thigh muscle injury in training and is likely to be out for 6 weeks. Unfortunately, this happened just before his planned loan move to Feyenoord. Amad will remain at United and rehabilitate back to full fitness. So Amad Diallo is not going out on loan this season. That loan has been cancelled. Instead of it being Amad Diallo, Feyenoord are in advanced talks to sign Reiss Nelson from Arsenal instead. I think that move, I don't know if that's been confirmed yet, but that's going to happen. So instead of Amad going there, it's Reiss Nelson, which is a shame. Obviously, it's a shame. I think that loan move would have been beneficial for him. Will he have a part to play? Maybe Carabao Cup games, but again, it depends. I mean, it really does depend because look, there are so many options ahead of him now. It's kind of the same as the Jesse Lingard situation, but I think there's a player in Amad Diallo. I really do think there's a player there. I think he just maybe does need some more game time and some playing time. And had we not signed the likes of the Jadon Sanchos and the Ronaldos, etc., then maybe that would have happened this season. But look, he's staying at the club. Who's to say that he doesn't get his opportunity in the team and he might get a run? He scored against AC Milan last year, and I think he played pretty well in that game. So who's to say that Amad something doesn't happen and he gets a run in the team? There's obviously a player there. Absolutely obviously a player there. And otherwise Manchester United wouldn't have signed him for a load of money in the first place. So he's going to be staying, and it'll be interesting to see how many games he does play because it looks like, again, no loan's going to happen. Maybe a loan does happen, let's say in January or something like that. That could be a situation, but I don't know. It's unfortunate for him because I think, again, whilst I would have preferred a Premier League loan move for him, obviously, with the injury, it's just a case of now it's not going to happen, which sucks because that means that until January, again, if he goes out on loan in January or somehow he gets a run in the team, between now and January, his playing time is going to be really limited, which of course is going to stunt the growth of him as a player. Obviously, I guess he'll play in the under-23s. Oh, they don't call it reserves. It's under-23s now, isn't it? He'll play in there, but you would have preferred that he was playing at a higher level and he would have got that in Holland with a top team like Feyenoord. So that's very unfortunate. Super chat from Salted Caramel says, Cavani has been a game changer so far and deserves appreciation for his hard work. Curse on number 7 is broken and it's all set for destiny. Goosebumps. That's a good point there by Salted Caramel. That number 7 jersey was doomed for a lot of time and Cavani kind of got it. Shined it up a little bit, made it all nice, got rid of that curse. I don't know how he did it. Did some kind of anti-curse spell, got rid of it, and now it's ready for its rightful owner once again. Having Cristiano Ronaldo back, and it kind of works out well for everyone, doesn't it? Cavani gets his number that he likes in terms of his international number, and Cristiano Ronaldo gets his number as well. So that's interesting too. Also want to talk about briefly before we wrap things up here, because we're nearly going for an hour now. Doesn't time fly when you're with friends, guys? We've still got over 1,400 people watching, so be sure to smash a like on the video and subscribe button right hand corner. I just can't believe an hour's gone like that. Just when I'm talking about transfers with you guys, it's crazy. One thing I do want to talk about before we wrap things up is Diogo Dalot. So obviously there's been a lot of speculation about his future. Will he leave? There was talks about him going to Borussia Dortmund, a loan with an obligation to buy. United were only keen on letting Dalot go if they could get a replacement in. So they had to essentially do the deal to bring in the replacement first. That replacement was rumoured to be Kieran Trippier. Atletico Madrid want too much money, something like 40 million euros, which United, I think in fairness, are looking at going for a 29-year-old. That's probably a bit too much for us. So the feeling was that with looking like there wasn't going to be any replacement to come in, it was unlikely that Dalot was going to leave the club, and that's exactly what Fabrizio Romano has tweeted out today. He said, quote, Diogo Dalot will 100% stay at Manchester United, never been in doubt since Saturday's decision, which of course we spoke about here on the channel on Saturday. We mentioned that the decision finally had been made that Diogo Dalot would be staying at Manchester United. He was untransferable, like Romano said at the weekend, so that decision's been set in stone since Saturday. That's not happening, and obviously Romano said, and same for Amad Diallo after his injury. Both will stay at the club this summer, and he also mentioned at the time about the talks about Dan James to Leeds United, which we know is happening now. So again, when it comes to Dalot and the right back situation, doesn't look like anything's going to happen now in terms of a right back. It was always hinging Kieran Trippier coming in on Dalot leaving, and now that it looks like we can't bring Kieran Trippier in, Dalot's going to stay. As I mentioned before, I think Dalot's a good player, and I think whilst Wan-Bissaka played very well yesterday, there has to be games where Dalot plays this season. We've seen last year how much Shaw developed just by having Telles sort of breathing down his neck. But that fullback position is an incredibly physically demanding position. Shaw can't play every game on the left this year in the same way that Wan-Bissaka can't play every game on the right this season, because you just can't. You'll burn out so quickly because that fullback position is just so demanding. So because of that, Dalot's got to play games, and I hope that Solskjaer doesn't look at it as, oh, maybe we just don't have the quality in that position because we couldn't bring Trippier in. I don't think that's fair. But look, guys, as always, again, we've been talking for about an hour, so if you are just joining us, Dan James, his Manchester United exit has been confirmed. He's on his way to Leeds United. I know there's been rumours about Everton maybe hijacking the deal, but that doesn't look likely. The reports are that he is having a 28 million euro move to Leeds United. There's going to be add-ons, all that kind of stuff. The announcement is going to be made shortly. I can see also that KG is in the chat as well. Look at him cheering me on. Man like Owen and dropping 3 bombs. I can already hear him. I could already hear him, KG. I could already hear him. If you saw KG's match view, they are so great. They are so great. His match views are tremendous. So whenever there's a game, be sure to tune in United View. His match views they're absolutely tremendous. And also as well, they are great for like meme potential. I've already got like 2 or 3 clips that I've got of KG during the match views. I did one yesterday and it was something like Graham Souness when he has to give Paul Pogba a compliment. It's KG going, oh, no. It's tremendous stuff. It's tremendous stuff. Anyway, guys. I appreciate everyone for tuning in tonight. We've had nearly 1,400 people watching, which is amazing. So be sure to smash a like on the video and subscribe. And I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Peace.